When we talk about childhood trauma, we often focus on the immediate effects it has on our mental health and well-being. But what about its impact on our personalities? How do our experiences in childhood shape the way we think, feel, and interact with others? That's what I want to explore today, specifically through the lens of the MBTI framework. Understanding the connection between childhood trauma and personality is crucial because it can help us identify patterns and behaviors that may be holding us back. By recognizing how our past experiences have influenced our personality, we can begin to make positive changes and work towards healing and growth. The impact of childhood trauma on personality. Childhood trauma can affect anyone, regardless of their personality type. However, the way it manifests and the coping mechanisms we develop can vary greatly from one type to another. That's why it's essential to understand how each MBTI type may respond to childhood trauma, and how this understanding can lead to personal growth and healing. Emotional dysregulation is a common challenge associated with childhood trauma. This can manifest as intense mood swings, anxiety, or depression. For example, individuals with a sensing preference may be more prone to anxiety, while intuitive types may experience more depressive episodes. However, these emotional struggles can be masked by other coping mechanisms, such as substance abuse or addictive behaviors. Individuals with a judging preference may struggle with feelings of resentment and anger, leading to difficulties in their personal relationships. On the other hand, perceivers may have trouble setting boundaries, leading to people-pleasing and an excessive need for validation. Childhood trauma can also affect our attachment styles, with some individuals developing an anxious or avoidant attachment. This can lead to difficulties in intimate relationships, as the individual may struggle with trust, intimacy, or commitment. In terms of coping mechanisms, some individuals may turn to self-numbing strategies, such as substance abuse or addictive behaviors, to deal with their emotional pain. Others may develop a people-pleasing strategy, constantly seeking validation and approval from others. Individuals with an introverted preference may struggle with internalizing their emotions, leading to feelings of isolation and loneliness. On the other hand, extroverted types may externalize their emotions, leading to conflicts and drama in their relationships. In the case of childhood trauma, our coping mechanisms can become embedded in our personality, making it challenging to identify and change them. However, by recognizing these patterns, we can begin to develop healthier coping strategies and work towards healing and growth. Childhood trauma can also lead to cognitive distortions, which are irrational and negative thought patterns that can affect an individual's perception of themselves and the world, expecting the worst possible outcome in any situation. Viewing situations and people in extremes without recognizing the nuances. Drawing broad conclusions based on a single event or experience. Blaming oneself for events outside of one's control. The behavioral patterns that emerge as a result of childhood trauma can be complex and varied. These patterns often serve as coping mechanisms, but can also hinder personal growth and healthy relationships. Some individuals may exhibit aggressive behavior as a way to protect themselves from perceived threats. Others may become overly compliant and submissive, avoiding conflict at all costs. Engaging in risky behaviors can be a way to seek excitement and escape from emotional pain. Constantly being on guard and alert to potential dangers, even in safe environments. The impact of childhood trauma on interpersonal relationships can be profound. Individuals may struggle with forming and maintaining healthy relationships due to trust issues, fear of intimacy, and difficulty with emotional regulation. Difficulty trusting others can lead to isolation and loneliness. Avoiding close relationships to protect oneself from potential hurt. Emotional dysregulation can lead to frequent conflicts and misunderstandings in relationships. Some individuals may become overly dependent on others for emotional support and validation. Let's dive deeper into each MBTI personality type and explore how childhood trauma might uniquely manifest in their behavior, relationships, and coping strategies. ISTJs who have experienced childhood trauma may struggle with feelings of anger and resentment, leading to difficulties in their relationships. They may come across as aloof or detached, making it challenging for others to get close to them. ISFJs, on the other hand, may develop a people-pleasing strategy, constantly seeking validation and approval from others. This can lead to feelings of burnout and exhaustion, as they struggle to set boundaries and prioritize their own needs. INFJs who have experienced childhood trauma may struggle with feelings of shame and self-doubt, leading to difficulties in their relationships. They may come across as overly critical or perfectionistic, as they struggle to reconcile their idealistic expectations with the harsh realities of their past. INTJs, meanwhile, may develop a more logical and detached approach to dealing with their emotions. They may struggle to open up and share their feelings with others, leading to feelings of isolation and loneliness. ESFJs who have experienced childhood trauma may struggle with feelings of anxiety and depression, leading to difficulties in their relationships. They may come across as overly dependent on others, constantly seeking validation and approval. ENFJs, on the other hand, may develop a charismatic and outgoing persona, masking their underlying emotional pain. They may struggle to set boundaries and prioritize their own needs, leading to feelings of burnout and exhaustion. ENTJs who have experienced childhood trauma may struggle with feelings of anger and aggression, leading to difficulties in their relationships. They may come across as overly dominant or controlling, as they struggle to trust others and delegate tasks. ENTPs, meanwhile, may develop a more adaptable and spontaneous approach to dealing with their emotions. They may struggle to commit to relationships or plans, leading to feelings of restlessness and discontent. ISFPs who have experienced childhood trauma may struggle with feelings of anxiety and depression, leading to difficulties in their relationships. They may come across as overly sensitive or emotional, as they struggle to reconcile their artistic and idealistic nature with the harsh realities of their past. ESFPs, on the other hand, may develop a more outgoing and charismatic persona, masking their underlying emotional pain. They may struggle to focus on their own needs and desires, leading to feelings of dissatisfaction and restlessness. INFPs who have experienced childhood trauma may struggle with feelings of shame and self-doubt, leading to difficulties in their relationships. They may come across as overly critical or perfectionistic, as they struggle to reconcile their idealistic expectations with the harsh realities of their past. ENFPs, meanwhile, may develop a more enthusiastic and spontaneous approach to dealing with their emotions. They may struggle to commit to relationships or plans, leading to feelings of restlessness and discontent. ESTPs who have experienced childhood trauma may struggle with feelings of anger and aggression, leading to difficulties in their relationships. They may come across as overly impulsive or reckless, as they struggle to control their emotions and impulses. INTPs, known for their analytical and introspective nature, may respond to childhood trauma by retreating further into their inner world. They might develop a tendency to overanalyze their experiences and emotions, often struggling to express their feelings openly. This can lead to feelings of isolation and difficulty in forming close relationships, as they prioritize logic over emotional connection. ESTJs, known for their leadership and organizational skills, may respond to childhood trauma by becoming more controlling and authoritative. They might focus on maintaining order and efficiency to manage their anxiety and stress. This can lead to difficulties in being vulnerable and trusting others, as they prioritize control and structure over emotional expression. ISTPs, known for their practical and hands-on approach to life, may respond to childhood trauma by becoming even more self-reliant and reserved. They might focus on physical activities or hobbies to distract themselves from emotional pain, often avoiding deep emotional connections. This can lead to difficulties in expressing their feelings and a tendency to withdraw from others when stressed or overwhelmed. They might experience frequent feelings of anger and frustration, particularly when things do not go as planned or when they feel their authority is challenged. Although they may not readily show it, underlying anxiety can be a significant issue, often masked by their outward confidence and assertiveness. Childhood trauma can also affect how ESTJs interact with others, particularly in their personal and professional relationships. ESTJs may struggle with trust, finding it difficult to rely on others and preferring to handle tasks themselves. Their need for control and dominance can lead to conflicts, especially with individuals who do not conform to their expectations or challenge their authority. ESTJs may find it challenging to open up and be vulnerable, fearing that showing weakness could undermine their leadership and control. The coping mechanisms developed by ESTJs in response to childhood trauma can be both adaptive and maladaptive. They may throw themselves into work and responsibilities as a way to distract from emotional pain and maintain a sense of control. In some cases, ESTJs might turn to alcohol or other substances to cope with stress and emotional turmoil. Establishing strict routines and schedules can provide a sense of stability and predictability, helping them manage anxiety and stress. Despite the challenges posed by childhood trauma, ESTJs can take steps towards healing and personal growth. Engaging in therapy can help ESTJs explore and process their emotions, learning healthier ways to manage stress and trauma. Incorporating mindfulness and relaxation techniques can help them become more aware of their emotional state and reduce stress. Working on building trust in relationships, both personal and professional, can help ESTJs feel more supported and less isolated. Learning to be more flexible and open to new perspectives can help them navigate challenges more effectively and reduce conflict. In conclusion, childhood trauma can have a significant impact on ESTJs, influencing their behavior, emotional regulation, and relationships. By recognizing these patterns and seeking support, ESTJs can develop healthier coping mechanisms and work towards a more balanced and fulfilling life. By recognizing how childhood trauma can manifest in each MBTI personality type, we can begin to understand the underlying patterns and behaviors that may be holding us back. This awareness can lead to positive change and growth, regardless of our personality type. The key insight here is that awareness and understanding are the first steps towards healing and growth. By recognizing the impact of childhood trauma on our personality, we can begin to develop healthier coping mechanisms and work towards a more authentic and fulfilling life. In conclusion, childhood trauma can have a profound impact on our personality, shaping our behaviors, relationships, and coping mechanisms. By understanding how each MBTI type may respond to childhood trauma, we can begin to identify patterns and develop healthier strategies for dealing with our emotions. If you're watching this video, I encourage you to share your own experiences in the comments below. What did you learn about yourself and your personality type? How has childhood trauma impacted your life? And what strategies have you developed to cope with it?